Poke is a pretty simple concept. Start with a bowl, add a base, some raw fish, and all the toppings that you like. Pretty straightforward. Now running the business side of it, it's a lot more complicated.
My name is Hector McLoughlin. I just basically completed my career in human resources, and I was traveling in Toronto on business where I saw the concept of poke. I had a prior restaurant background, starting in '78, going through '95, with 24/7 restaurants that were like Denny's, and my God, it was the hardest job I'd ever done. So we rode it for about 17 years, and then I had to figure out what I wanted to do. Did I want to stay in the restaurant business? Did I want to stay self-employed? So it really took me about a year of, belly button gazing. What color is your parachute? I had always said after I left the restaurant business that if you gave me a restaurant that made $1 million a year for free, that I wouldn't take it. So I'm traveling in Toronto, and but my favorite sushi restaurant in Toronto was closed for remodeling, and there was snow on the ground, but there was this one place next to it called the Sushi Lab. And I walked in and I saw this concept, and it must have been about 3 or 5 seconds later that the light went off, and I got it. I understood. I went, this is Chipotle for sushi. I understood that a fast casual concept lends itself to increasing margins after you go above break even. So that was very attractive. So I thought, this is worth researching, and the more that I researched the concept, the more excited I became. So one of the things that I saw when I was in Toronto, that when I say the light bulb went off, is I realized that this was line operations, and line operations means that you prep and then you serve. Okay, so when I had restaurants before, if you have an increase of 50 more customers per day, you have to add more servers, you have to add more bussers and more cooks. Not in this concept. What you have to do is prep properly and then serve, and then you go back and you prep again. Then I did more research, and I would talk to other poke owners or franchise owners and just say, hey, look, I'm looking to do this thing, and here's the data that I've gathered. Does that sound like I'm in the right ballpark? And I had some affirmations about, yeah, you are. So all of those things kind of came together, and they did come together for me in looking at that concept. And the more that I researched it, the more that I realized there's a tremendous amount of upside. This is where the restaurant industry is going, which is fast casual. It is all healthy, low calorie, high protein, it's fast, it's affordable. Then you get into, okay, I'm going to sign a lease now, and I'm committing for 5 years, which is not for the faint of heart. Right? Several $100,000 that my bet and my research and everything that I think is accurate, or I'm going to pay for it. I mean, that's just the risk reward system. So it took me somewhere between June through November to get this place open. Harvey delayed us. Harvey was something that I wasn't counting on, and that I think is really still impacting the Houston community. I see that still. And so that's had an impact not just on me, but on a bunch of other restaurants as well in Houston. I don't think that we're going to get back to normal pre-Harvey. My guess is probably for another year or so. And one of the things that I didn't know for sure, even after I had done all my research, is poke trendy or is it a trend? Because I see a lot of trendy stuff that's out there that I know people are going to get tired of. And the same thing even happens with a new restaurant. It's called the honeymoon period. Mm-hmm. But that's the trendiness of a specific restaurant.
You don't think the cronut is going to be a sustainable thing,
That's right. That's right. It's going to have its challenges. And the restaurant business is changing. I think that I'm well positioned for the future of what restaurants are going to look like, there's going to be an enthusiasm by entrepreneurs that will consistently overbuild this industry, in my opinion, and I'm seeing it happen here in Houston. You know, competition came in a lot quicker than I imagined. I've always said, if we stay 5+ miles away from each other, we'll all be fine. But when you start encroaching on 3.5 miles on a concept that is not fully developed or mature, you know, that is really still in the introductory phase. I was the Poke Now was the farthest west, and my closest competition was 7 miles away, and this was December of 2017. Now I have 4 other restaurants. Closest one is 3.5 miles from me, and I think that's overbuilding demand. You know, I'm looking for ways to make sure that I'm differentiating myself from the competition. I made myself a promise that I would never bore our customers, because I understand that they need to keep things fresh and they need to have a reason to come back. The reality is that 41% of new customers will come back. If they come back a second time, you have a 43% chance that they'll come in. It's only after their 3rd or 4th visit that they become a loyal customer. And that's a difficult thing to attain, to build a business that way. And I think that, again, it's going to come down to what our mission statement is all about. The ones that provide the highest quality food, exceptional service, that can create what's called that third place, where somebody comes into Poke Now and says, this is my Poke place. And this will always be an evolving concept. I'm always looking for what is it that I can do that my customers want and value first and foremost, but also that no one else is doing. So we offer more proteins than anyone else does. And we also have more menu items. Yeah, we have the signature dishes and the build your own bowls, but you can have tacos, as we talked about, you can have nachos, you can have wraps, or you can have a poke sandwich. I call what we do mainland poke, because I want to respect the Hawaiian culture. Poke is a very simple dish. It's really marinated fish over rice with, you know, some Japanese influences on it. Mainland poke is dressed sashimi with a bunch of add-ons that Hawaiians would never put on it. But I think that you can have a wonderful experience here where you get to create your own bowl the way that you like it. And I'm amazed sometimes, like the latest picture that I took of our poke tacos that I posted, I'm amazed with what the customers can do with it. So it's also a concept that lends itself to allowing the customer to be creative with what they want to do. It delights me to see customers that are willing to come in and try poke for the very first time and they don't even know what it is. Because I remember my first poke experience, which was May of last year, and I was delighted. I was blown away. I mean, that's exciting. I mean, I like that. And I tell people that have the bowl for the very first time to be very careful, because I literally quit my job and opened up this place as a result of my first poke bowl. And by the way, the thing that, in my opinion, makes poke better than sushi, sushi's more artistic, and it's wonderful, and it's great, and it's what got me here, and I love it. But what sushi cannot do is what poke does, which is it offers you many different layers of texture and many different layers of taste. And so when you're eating a poke bowl, and you can make your own combinations, and as you're taking a bite, you're never having the same bite. When you eat steak, after your third bite, the experience doesn't change. And I realized, man, that's really what's so exciting about poke. Poke is a fun thing to eat because it's not boring. For me and for my customers, if you experience that texture and taste and it changes, you're going to be one happy customer when you leave. The one thing that you can do with bowl food that you can't do with sandwich or full service food is that you can eat with one hand while you're finally checking your iPhone on the other. And I see a lot of customers doing that. They want to get away from the office, they want to go look at the NFL pool, they want to go look at Snapchat or whatever, right? And they want that time alone, and I leave them alone. Here, when you hit the first station and you decide what you want to when you pay, 3 minutes. And I say that with confidence. I was talking to the franchise development group. They said, look, if you can do a franchise for $250,000, that's a good place to be. And I said, I can do it for less. I can do it for a lot less. I'm guessing that it's going to take me somewhere around 8 more months to be able to get there, I hope. It might be longer. I think things like the impact of Harvey may delay it, increase competition, may be able to delay it. But I see this as a race for brand that has already begun. I'm not even at the starting gate, so I need to get myself to the starting gate. I don't want this to be Hector's Poke restaurant. I want it to be your Poke restaurant. I want you to be whatever you need it to be, that third place where you come to get away from work or you're not cooking. That's not how I'm looking at this whole venture. I love creating value. And I want to find people that want to create value. I think that's a worthy thing to do. Some people like to get good at their hobbies. There's nothing wrong with that. I just like to create value. That's what I enjoy, and I think that this is a perfect vehicle for doing